Alright, what's up? So, I've been having a boost issue code. I forget exactly what it is. It's like P0299 something. I don't know. Anyways, it's a low boost slash turbocharge or turbo slash supercharger boost. I don't know. Anyways, um, and it's developed recently. Actually got hit in the front of the vehicle not too long ago. I just got the car back from the body shop. So this is 2013 Dodge Dart with the 1.4 liter turbo in it. And I started to be able to hear a hissing. At first I thought it was like somehow the wires got messed up and the throttle body, since it's drive-by-wire, was somehow causing the vent fans to blow out faster. And I was like, oh, that's great. Electrical issues. And then I turned off the blower fans and it was still doing it, so that's when I was like, okay, well, that's new. I assumed that there was some sort of damage at the front of the turbo or the cooler pipes, or the intercooler, or maybe there was like some sort of blow-off valve issue. But I haven't been able to figure it out. And then I'll be driving, I'll have boost, and then I'll get up, I don't know, around 65, get it to about 4,000 RPMs, and all of a sudden it'll just dog down, just bog out, no more boost. And then if I erase the code will come back, and and then it'll just be like that. Somebody said that it's going into limp home mode, so essentially it sounds like maybe the actuator, the wastegate actuator, just goes full out and just opens the whole thing up. There's a sensor right down here, or a regulator right down here, for the actuator. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it's electronic, 2 wires, probably just controls the amount of vacuum to the actuator depending on the boost. And when it sees a significant drop in boost, it just cuts all boost altogether. And then the thing is basically a non-turboed 1.4 liter in a 3,500 pound car. So what we're doing today, I mean, it obviously it creates boost. I don't think that there's any issues with the turbo itself because it's able to create boost. I think it just goes into that limp home mode as soon as it senses not enough boost for what should be, and all that fun stuff. So I've already taken this off for a while ago. I broke one of the studs right here, so I've just kept it off. But what we're going to do today is we're going to take, or tonight, we're going to take this off. This is a little contraption that I built. I think it's going to work. We'll see. I may have to get like a 2-inch to 1.5-inch downspacer, but when I measured this was 2 inches, so I'm hoping that the piece that I got for it will work. It's basically the C PVC pipe, 1/2 inch with a open shut valve connected to a nipple for an air compressor, and then you've got your gauge. This was just one used for water pressure testing. I would recommend doing something similar to what I did right here, where 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch, and then getting an actual 1/4 inch gauge that, I don't know, between 0 and 60 psi instead of 200. It'll just allow it to be a little bit more accurate. But really all I needed to do is measure. I've seen up to 32 psi, so I'm probably going to hit it up to 30 psi and then just listen for boost leaks. But I'm basically going to couple this to the inlet of the turbo. I haven't seen any other airlines or anything like that running to the turbo housing, the cold side. And so we'll couple it up together with this little guy right here, hopefully. It's also 2-inch. And I'll just tighten it down like this, and then tighten that down like that. Just stuff it in there, tighten everything down, and see if we can get it to work the way that it's supposed to. We'll slowly add 30 psi to this and just see if we can hear it coming from anywhere. I can hear it really close to the firewall. It sounds like air is just being forced out somewhere over here. So I'm thinking vacuum line somewhere is just leaking. There's been some check valve issues on some of this stuff, not on this car particularly, but from what I've seen. And then we've got a potential crack in the manifold, the intake manifold, potential crack in the piping coming in from the intercooler. I mean, there's a bunch of different things that could be potentially wrong. So that's what we're going to try to identify tonight and see if we can at least figure out the issue, and then what we'll have to do to fix it. So I'll go ahead and start taking this off and see if I can get this connected the right way. Hopefully it works. Let's see. Alright, so there isn't a whole lot to this thing. You've got your clip right here, clip right here, and then some vacuum lines. You just push this tab in and it should just come off, and then we can take the pliers and pull this vacuum line off. And then this guy should just pop out. We should be able to take the whole thing out. We'll see. There might be something underneath it. Oh, well. Oh no. What was that? Well, that's not good. Oh, man. That's not good. How did that break? Well, we'll have to fix that. Looks like I'll be driving the Jeep to work tomorrow. That sucks. That hasn't been broken, has it? No. Why is it such a weird angle, though? There must have been a part in the middle that snapped off. I don't know. Oh well. Well, we'll still be able to pressurize the system and figure out if there's a leak. But I will not be able to drive my car tomorrow. So, that's fun. So be careful about that. Probably take this guy off. I run the risk of snapping it. I don't think... Actually, I might have some... hose that I can try and fix it with, but we'll see. If not, I'll have to order the part. So this is being stubborn. It came off pretty easy earlier when I was checking the size of this intake, and I measured it just over 2 inches. So, I mean, but it's like right at 2 inches on this thing, so I don't even know. There's that little ridge inside of it, so I don't know if you can see that. So we'll see. Man, that sucks. That probably shouldn't come off that easy, but oh well. Alright. So, fun stuff. I'm going to see if I can flip this guy around, because it's going to make it easier to tighten once it's on there. Perfect. This one can stay how it is. I'll just tighten it beforehand. And ideally you want this to be pretty tight. But I realize that you are going to have some vacuum leaks. Ooh, yeah, that's way too big. Well, let's see. I don't know. Let's see if we can tighten it down at least to get some sort of pressure on it. And if not, then we'll have to come back tomorrow and finish off the video. I think I'll know what I'll be able to do. I'll probably just be able to get a, well, I'll bring that piece in with me, that little coupler. try and match it up to something they have at Lowe's or something like that. If not, we'll just try tightening this clamp down. It's on there decent, but I don't know if we'll actually be able to hold pressure, so let's try it. Let's see what happens. Alright, so we'll go ahead and just slowly there's definitely something over here. I can't even build pressure. It's 20. Oh yeah. There's a massive blowout in the bottom of this tube. The intake line going into the motor or into the intake is just blown out on the bottom. So I probably need a smaller. I'll pull this guy off and I'll show you. And I mean, I couldn't tell before just by listening because I wasn't building boost with it, just at an idle. I probably could have taken some spray or something and tried to spray it in there. I need to find a smaller screwdriver, so it's way too big. I probably could have tried spraying something in there, see if it, just spray around the engine with like some brake cleaner or something, some starter fluid, see if it'll idle up the engine, then you know that you've got some sort of vacuum leak. But yeah, I mean, that makes sense now. I don't know how that blew out like that. But like I said, I've been seeing it get up to about 32 PSI, which I knew it would get up to 22. I didn't know that it would get up to 32. So maybe that is part of the problem. But I mean, this thing nearly has 200,000 miles on it. It's 2013 Dodge Dart. It's getting up there. So yeah, I'll probably be able to run just some regular line to this. We'll see. Maybe just some vacuum line, just regular vacuum line. Come up, connect it directly. If not, then I'll have to order this specific piece from Dodge. I don't see it being more than like $20, $25. Probably way more expensive than it needs to be. So I'm going to go get a smaller screwdriver and pull this piece off, and then I'll show you what I just discovered with this handy dandy little tool. Alright, we got a smaller screwdriver, so hopefully we can get this out of there. Don't mind this disgusting mustache, it's part of a contest. I think I'm winning. I also don't think I'm allowed near schools anymore. Oh no. Oh man. I used to have a Datsun 510. You could see the ground from the engine bay. I miss those days. Is this even... Oh no. What is this? Oh, okay, wait. I think this is one of those crimp on ones, which doesn't make much sense. Yeah, that's one of the crimp ones. I don't really know how to pop these things off, if there's a way to get them off without doing anything. But it's got to come off, so well. Yeah, what's funny is this thing, I told them that I was having this issue. And they, before they did anything to the car to fix the front end after getting hit by that car, and all they told me when I went and picked it up was that all they could see was the code, but they didn't know why I was throwing the code. And literally just doing some sort of pressure check. I probably could have pulled the vacuum line off right here. Can't really see it, but there's a vacuum line that comes on back here. I probably could have pulled that off and just ran this hose over it and clamped it down and done something similar, pressurized it, capped this off right here. That's what this was for. Just cap it and run some pressure. But I'm gonna finagle with this thing. I might have to take some cutters to it and get it cut off. But I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I got some tools. Got some cutters. We'll see if we can get those in there. Got the old trusty grabber. And then this little guy I got from Harbor Freight not too long ago. It is a little light camera. So not to blind the camera. I saw it a second ago. Let me get a light other than the one that I have shining on this stupid thing. Alright. Oh, that's dumb. I was hoping I'd just be able to get it with the magnet, but this thing's pretty dirty, so let's see what we can do. It's like the claw machine. Looks like it's not rigged. Alright. Cool. And then, so... Alright, so this little guy's kind of neat. I think I got it from Harbor Freight for, I don't know, it was on sale. It was like on clearance. It's been semi-helpful. It was under 50 bucks, I know that. That was the only reason I bought it. But it works fairly well. It's simple concept. Just a power button. Maybe you gotta hold it, I don't know. Maybe the batteries are dead. Well, just takes a couple double A's. So we'll go replace the double A's and then we'll see what kind of strap this has. Alright, so we're not using this thing. I'm just going to pop the clip and then we'll replace it with just a standard hose clamp later. That's weird. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It was working. I just used it recently, so. But I did also buy it from Harbor Freight, so. this guy off somehow. Nothing on this car is made out of steel, except for a couple hard points, so nothing wants to stay where it is. The magnet doesn't work very well, so let's see if I can get this guy popped off here. I'll move you over to this side so we can actually see what's going on. I might have to move the air compressor though. Alright, so straighten it out. Cool. Well, you can't really see what's going on, but if you can see right here, that hose right there has a massive slash in the bottom of it. It just blew out, so that's what I'm trying to get off. If you can see that clip, well, the metal clip that's holding it together is it's not a standard clamp, so I gotta try and pop that off. So we'll struggle bust it together. Put my head in the way. Probably be easier if I pulled the battery, and I mean, I don't really have to worry about damaging the hose. It's already blown out, so I think if I can get a screwdriver under it, well, which I probably won't be able to. Let's see, this is not easily moved. That's not easily, well, let's see. I think I'll remove this clip. Try not to break this tab. So I might be able to I don't even know how that works. It doesn't look like it's a push, but it might be. We'll see. This bracket's in the way, makes it a pain. I just want to move this cable. Maybe I can use, there we go. Use leverage of the metal. Alright. I don't really want to do, I could take like something to try and punch it, but I don't really want to do that because I don't want to damage anything on the throttle body. But since this cable was already jacked up, I'm not too worried about damaging the hose. Ah, there we go. So it is. Nope, just ruining everything. Alright. Oh, I guess I probably could have. Oh, you know what? I could have loosened it. Now I know. I guess I can see about getting a different tie. These are weird. I mean, they're nice, but I don't know. It's got this little key right here. I guess you can crank it down really good. I've never seen one of these. I thought it was like this one right over here, where it's just kind of crimped. It's kind of hard to see. Well, looks like it's just crimped down. But apparently it's not. So, whoops. Oh well. Maybe they'll sell those at the dealership too. Alright. But time for the big reveal. Look at that. Nice big old gaping hole. Just blew out. It's not. No, you can't even see. Yeah. You can see that crack in it. Yeah, that was just pouring out air. It looks like maybe inside there's a factory line, and that's where it split at. So, yeah, you can see it more pronounced on this side, that line. It just split on that, so that's fine though. I'll get something. I'll go to the dealership and have them order me a new one. But, I mean, that's cool. We figured out what it was. It's not the turbo. That's a costly replacement. And it's, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 bucks in parts. I don't necessarily need a new one of these. Really just need another hose clamp. But it is pushing 32 psi, so probably a better clamp. I mean, they make the turbo clamps too. They're pretty nice. I think I have some in the garage somewhere. Yeah. Get a new hose, get a new clamp, get a new piece over there, the vacuum line, or just replace it with the standard vacuum line. But well, my car is not drivable for a little while, so cool beans. Well, yeah, I highly suggest it if you're having issues with your turbo on a 2013 Dodge Dart's throwing codes. Make these little contraptions. It'll really help. My first thought was I'm gonna have to replace the turbo, and or something on the turbo. I initially thought that maybe the wastegate was just going bad and just dumping and not allowing any turbo to build up. So doesn't cost too much. I think I probably spent about 30 bucks in pieces. You could do it even cheaper if you already have a gauge, and I don't know, you don't need to do it out of it's a little bit smaller if you do it out of the copper fittings, but you don't really need to. This was half-inch thread with a half-inch thread to quarter-inch. This was just a hose adapter that fit right on, and I bought this. This was $9. I think this was $7, and then the rest of these pieces were like $1 or less. And the hose I bought way more than I needed. I think it was like 10 feet of this stuff for $5, almost $6. And then I just bought these couplers, which were a couple bucks each. So it's not super expensive. And then you can hook it up. The biggest thing you'll need to do is just measure your intake for your turbo if you have one. Well, you should have one if you're doing this process. Measure that and get the right size fitting. And I mean, this was even too big, but being able to clamp it down, you can still get enough pressure, or even hold it at a certain pressure. You know, keep the valve just kind of slightly open so that you get enough pressure to keep it around 20, depending on what I probably wouldn't go over 30, but around 20, 35, depending on what your vehicle takes. Whereas normal boost, probably most vehicles are probably, newer vehicles probably running somewhere around 20 psi. This stock was 22. I did that little mod on this thing, so maybe I blew that thing out by increasing the overall boost on this. I think you like turn it like 6 turns out or something instead of 5. I don't remember, it's been a while. But yeah, and you can just throw a compressor on it. You do need a compressor. I guess if you really wanted to, you could get like a valve fitting for like an air pump, but then you're going to have the noise of the air pump, and it just makes it really loud. So that was kind of like one of the benefits of this, is not having any additional noises coming through except for air bleeding out through the system. So yeah, definitely worth it. Saved me a lot of money. Really worried I was going to have to replace this turbo. I've heard a lot of horror stories about the first gen turbos. So go ahead and take this off and get everything just bolted back up as the best as possible, and go to the store and get one of these maybe tomorrow. And yeah, cool. one more cool little thing. So I'm not sponsored by these people, but somebody told me about this. It's a waterless hand cleaner. I got it at Napa, Joe's All-Purpose. They said it was great for just getting gunk off your hands. I used some of the wipes before, so I guess we'll just give it a try and see how well it works. Alright, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect from it, but it looks like you would at least need some paper towels. So he didn't really explain how it worked, but just that it worked really well, and he's not wrong. It's kind of a lotion, and they make two different ones. They've got a hand scrub and then an all-purpose. The hand scrub is in like a green labeled bottle. So that's interesting. It's kind of like a lotion, so it's supposed to help keep your hands from getting all nasty afterwards. I mean, they kind of feel nasty right now, though. I'm just not a lotion person. But no, this actually works pretty well. So, yeah, you're always getting greasy. I mean, saw how greasy all this stuff was. If you're always getting greasy, give this stuff a check. Joe's All-Purpose Hand Cleaner, waterless. I don't remember how much it was. I think it was like $10. I'm not 100% sure. But I bought it with a couple other things. So, but yeah, no, this stuff cool. Give that stuff a try if you're in the market for something for cleaning your hands other than the orange goopy stuff. So, I mean, and it doesn't feel too oily afterwards. It feels like it's drying out pretty quick. But I'm sold. I mean, this is the cleanest my hands have been after washing them, working on a vehicle in quite a while. So, and I didn't use any soap, so that's kind of cool. It does leave a bit of an oily, like lotiony feel to it so far. I don't know if it'll dry out, but not too bad. Some napkins and this stuff, and you're good to go.